All right, so now I'm just going to cover basically how to actually put images into your site, because right now all we've done has been text. So now we're actually going to start. I'm just going to show you how to do it. All right, so first off, what you need to do is you need to make a folder. So I made a folder called Cone Bio, and then you need to have an index HTML. So I'm just going to open this open with Visual Studio Code, and should look something like this. I'll get rid of this for right now. But basically just the same, don't mind all this business, just the same that you've always seen, right? Start with the doc type, HTML, you know, the head and the body, okay? So we can close that. Okay, so, and then obviously all your text and stuff would go in here, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and make an H1 in here and just say like, you know, class 02 examples, okay? Just so that there's a heading, okay? So you just have your basic thing kind of like that, whatever you have, but where you want to put the picture, you put here. The other thing you need to do, you have to have that folder, but then inside the folder, you need to have another folder called images, and all of your images will be in there. So I just have 2 pictures to play around with, and I'm just going to use those as my examples, okay? So that's basically what you need. So looking at that, what we want to do, so in order to put an image in there, the new tag is just img, okay? And then you need to specify a source for that image, what image you're bringing in. So it's src, okay? It's going to be equal quotes, and then you need to put the path, the file path. And this time we're going to be using, we're always going to use relative URLs. So it's going to be images, all right, images / and I'll just do cone.png. Okay, now it's important that I do images because that's the name of the folder, and then you can see cone, but you have to put the extension in and make sure it's the correct one. You might notice that you have a JPEG. Some JPEGs say .jpg, some say .jpeg. Just make sure you use the correct one, like that. Then what you want to do is do an alt, and this is just to say what it is if someone has a screen reader. So I'll just say like a dumb cone, all right, and then a title, which is basically if you hover over it, what it's going to read, and I'll say cone, and then you can specify a width and a height. So you'd go, I don't even know what the height or width is of this, so let's see, will this properties give it to me? It will not. On a Mac, I think it actually shows it, but it's not showing it here. Well, we'll just put something in. So you can type in width equals, and then I could say, let's say 320 px. Okay. Then I can do height, and I'll just do the same thing again, equals, and we'll say 320 px. So the px just stands for pixels. Then I just do a space / you know, end the thing. Okay, so this is what we call an open element because there is no closing tag to this. So let me make this a little bit smaller so we can see the whole thing ish. There we go. Now I just save that, Control S or file save, and then I'm just gonna go back here so we can see it, and then I'll open it up, and it popped up over here, and you can see there it is. Now one thing I want you to be aware of, notice that it's stretched. Okay, if you look at the actual picture, it's actually supposed to be taller, okay? So here's the thing, when you put images in and you specify the size, it's going to just stretch it to whatever that size is. So normally you want to do is just make sure it's the exact same size as the image that you put in there. So you could open it up in like Photoshop and look in there. Or another thing you could do is this. If you only specify one thing, not width and height, but just width or just height, when I go to save this, and I'll just refresh it, you can see now what will happen is it will automatically figure out what the height is based off of what the width is. Okay, now if I don't specify either, if I take this out, Control S, go back here, and Control R, it will actually just make it whatever size the image is what it will be in the thing. It'll just take the absolute image. All right, now which one do you want to do? Kind of depends. Generally speaking, what I would tell you to do is find out what the actual width is and then put in the width. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone for now because I don't know what my width is. But you would punch in the actual width of the image, and then leave the height alone. That way it'll be the right size. But if you need to specify and change the width in some way so that you can change the overall size, that's fine. But generally, that's what you want to do. More importantly, you want to make your image the actual size you want it in the site. Don't put a bigger image than what's needed, because then what happens is that the web browser's loading a bigger image than you're even getting to see, so it's wasting bandwidth. Also, don't put a smaller image than what you need, because then what you're going to get is you're going to get it big and stretched out, and it's going to be pixelated and look crappy. So you want to make sure that the size of the actual source images is correct, okay? So usually you want to go into Photoshop and crop it or size it or scale it or do whatever, okay? Now, so that's how you put a picture in, like this. Woo! Fantastic. Okay. So now let's say you want to link multiple pages of a site. So I'm going to save this. So I have this one. I have this stupid picture. I'm going to make another web page. Okay. So I'm going to do File, New File. So you can see I have Index and Untitled. And I need it to be the same thing. And just to save time, I'm just going to Control A for Select All or Select All. Control C for Copy or Edit Copy. Go over here and Control V for Paste, or go Edit Paste. Okay. And I'm just going to get rid of these two things, and I'm going to call this Class 2 02 second page example. And then I will add a different H1. So H1, check out my second page. H1. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and save this. So I'll just do File, Save as. Okay. And I'm going to save it in the underneath that cone bio, underneath the same like main web page. And you can see I can't see the other ones because it's looking for text. So I'm going to switch this to HTML. Where you are. No, I can't find you for some weird reason. HTML. And then you can see index. So this one, so your home page is always called index. Your sub pages are just called whatever you want them to be. So I'm just going to call this one second page for now. Okay. All right. Second page. Yay. Okay. So now I have a second page. And if I were to open this, so you see now I have two. So all of your HTML, all of your web pages will be right here. And then you'll have an image folder. So I'm just going to second page. And you can see this is what it looks like. Yay. And it says, it's got the title up there. And it's got the H1 that I put in there. All right. So now if I want to link this page to my second page, because right now if I open it up, it's just this page, you know, by itself. I have to create a link. So what I'm going to do is after the image, I'm going to go ahead and do an href, okay, equals quotes, and then I'm just going to put the name of that other page, and it was just called second page. So second page.html. Because it exists in the same space, I don't have to do like a subfolder. It's just directly right there. So second page, HTML. And that looks good. Okay, so that's the opening tag. Then there'll be a closing tag. And the word that you're going to click on is what goes here. So I'm just going to write, you know, second page. Like that. Okay, so basically A stands for anchor, I guess. That's the tag. This href stands for horizontal reference, because I guess you're moving horizontally. And then this is the location that it's going to go to. So in this case, it's the second page. And then this is the actual link that you're going to click on. Okay, so if I save that now, and I open up this, and you can see, there it is. See how it looks like a hyperlink? And when I click on it, it's going to go to my second page. Woo! Isn't that exciting? I'm pretty excited. All right, so let's say I want to go back to the other page. You see, I don't have any links for it right now. I can hit back, which is fine. But let's say I want to use an image for my link instead of a word, right? So words are great. You know, use your words. But it'd be nice if I could actually use a picture instead. So what I'm going to do is on my second page, I'm going to load in, I'm going to make an href, so href, okay? And then it's going to be the index.html because that's the one I want to go back to, okay? This, and then I'll have the closing tag. But instead of putting in text, I'm actually just going to put a picture. So I'll do, img src source, And then I'm just going to go ahead and do, I don't remember what it's called, images. Why is it not showing me a file path? / what's it called? So I'm just going to click and copy, Control C. So it's frontal, Control V, .png. All right, and then I got to do space like this. All right. So now you'll see I put an image in here. I didn't put the alt or any of the other stuff in there. Probably should. You know what I'm going to do? Actually, I'm going to do, just so it's not huge, I'm just going to do width equals, and I'll say 240 pixels. Not that. This. There we go. All right, so that way it's not like gigantic. All right, and then I'll just save that. All right, so I have an href, right? That's what this is. And then I have the image inside instead of text. Let's go ahead and save that. I'm going to go back here and control, well, I don't need to reset. Go to second page. So here's a picture, but watch. If I hover over it, see how my thing turns into a little hand? And when I click on it, it's going to go back to this page, okay? Yay. It's fantastic. All right. So there is that stuff. Now, there are other things you can do, too, such as, like, iframes. So, for instance, if I wanted to... let me find one to embed first. Let's say I want to take a page and I can iframe it, which means basically what I can do is I can put one page inside of another page. So I'll show you how to do that. All right. So it's generally not considered good practice to do this, but I'm just going to do it as an example. So you do, oops. Let's try that again. Okay. You do iframe. All right. Then you do the source. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the internet here, and I'm just going to look up Google. Just show you. I'm going to go to Google, and I'm just going to click on it and Control C to copy, or right click and copy. Okay. And I'm just going to put that right in there. Control V to paste. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to determine a width and a height. So width, and you do have to determine a width and a height. And we'll do, 720px, and we'll do height. I'll do 480px. Oops, we don't need that on this. And then this, and there you go. It's weird that there's a closing. I'm not 100% sure why that is, but anyway. So basically what it's going to do is going to create an iframe. And I'll show you what it looks like in a second. Control S, and let's go here, and then I'm just going to hit Control R, and you can see it did nothing. Did I do that? Oh, I did it on the second page. That's why. So let's go to second page. There you go. And it creates this iframe. Now, you can't see, Google's not a good one because there's a lot of white. Let me do a different site. Let's go here. Let's do IGN. I think they got stuff in their site. Now let's hit Control R. And it's not showing up. Hang on a second. HTTPS. Why am I not getting Bing? One of these should be working. Refresh. Yeah, not really. I don't know. The iframe's not. I don't know. But basically, you would link one site to another one. I'm just not sure. HTTP. Maybe that's it. I don't know. For some reason, it's not letting me iframe it. Another thing you can do, though, because this isn't all super useful, is you can actually use, this is one of the things I do. You probably have noticed that in my site, when I go down here, yeah, I have these YouTube videos embedded. The way that I'm doing that is this way. If I go to, so this is just like a YouTube video, one of mine, and I'm just going to go to share. I go to embed. And you can see it's an iframe code right here. So I just click on it, Control C to copy, go in here, Control V to paste, Control S, and go back here, and we'll just Control R. And you can see it didn't work. Let's see which it did in second page, right? Yeah. Iframe width 560, blah, 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 blah. I wonder what's going on with that. It's kind of weird. Usually there's no issues with that. Maybe it shouldn't matter that I'm local. I don't know, but you can embed it that way as well. All right, so that's an iframe. Generally speaking, don't use those because it's considered bad practice because it's kind of weird when you're doing touchscreen stuff. Now let me go back here. All right. So, another thing you do is you can embed video. Here's an example here. I'm not going to do it right now. It's a lot like the other, a lot like doing an image and stuff. I don't suggest embedding video. If you want to put video in, you're better off using, YouTube or Vimeo or some other, hosting, site. The reason for that is they're going to be better at compressing it. It will also save space on your, server space. Their bandwidth is going to be better, so when it plays through, it's actually going to play faster, but going off of their computer. There's a lot of advantages to it, so it's just generally not considered good practice. So don't put video in your site. Okay. Also audio. Absolutely hate audio. If you put audio in there, I will punch you. Because what ends up playing is that every time you go onto like some SPCA thing, they play the "On the Wings of an Angel." You know, I got some Sarah McLachlan, and I don't need that. And it just keeps playing, and then there's like no off button. Although actually, if you go up here, there's a little speaker you can click on. But still, it's annoying. Metadata. Okay. So metadata is another thing. So basically, at metadata, what it is that it's data that you put at the top of your site that basically gives the browser extra information about it. Okay, so basically it's always meta is the name of the tag. It's an open element. Okay, so you write meta, and then after that you put a name, and then you put content. Okay, and basically what it is that these are like not predefined things. You say, okay, I want to make some sort of, I want to tell the thing something about this. Okay, so the thing I want to tell it about is going to be the name. So in this case, I want to tell it about the viewport, which is what you see here. What you're looking at is the viewport. And what I want to say about it is I want to say the width, height, device, initial scale is this, meaning that whatever size it is, this is the starting size, right? There's another one here. It says, well, this is actually a little bit different. Character set, and I'll say UTF. That just means the type of letters that we're using is based off of this standard, okay? Another one, description. So I want to say the description of my site is, it's a biography of Cone, right? Another one, name. Keywords for the site. So like if you're going to put it into a search engine, which this doesn't generally work anymore, but I would say, you know, Jonathan Cohen, biography, professor, blah, blah. I could do meta name, author, and the author is blah, blah, blah. It's just extra information. Honestly, the only ones you're really going, unless you put these in specifically, which I honestly don't really, for the most part, suggest, you probably will see these. This one up here is going to be important when we go to do responsive web pages, because it has to, in order for the code to interact with the browser and know to, you know, do this, like you'll notice that this will, see how it snaps to different sizes. In order for it to know to do that, it has to know the scale of the browser. So that's what this is for. And this is just, you know, so that it knows what the character set you're using. So you'll see this one later on. We're going to put this in there. It'll automatically be put in for us. This one will also usually be automatically put in if you're using Dreamweaver, but I don't generally put them in there unless, you know, I need to. Okay, so that covers that section, and then next what we're going to do is do this inline part.